Do you ever find yourself missing the breakfasts your parents or grandparents used to make? Those hearty, comforting meals that have long since faded from our morning routines? Let's take a delicious trip down memory lane and rediscover 25 forgotten breakfast classics we wish would return. Fried Spam. Do you ever long for a breakfast that's as hearty and comforting as it is nostalgic? Spam was once a breakfast staple across America, especially during and after World War II, offering an affordable and shelf-stable meat option that quickly became a favorite in households nationwide. Introduced in 1937, Spam was easy to prepare and incredibly versatile, often fried until crispy and golden, then served with eggs, toast, or potatoes. Its salty, savory flavor made it the perfect way to start the day, particularly in rural areas or during tough times when fresh meat wasn't always available. While Spam's popularity declined as tastes shifted toward fresher options, it still holds a special place in many hearts, particularly in Hawaii, where it remains a beloved treat. For those who remember it fondly, Spam evokes memories of simpler days and a resilient spirit, where hearty meals bring comfort, no matter the circumstances. Eggs Benedict 1. Iconic dish that turned the morning meal into an indulgent and luxurious experience. Do you ever crave a breakfast that feels indulgent and luxurious, yet carries with it a bit of history? Eggs Benedict is a beloved American dish with roots that trace back to the late 19th century. Traditionally, it features two halves of an English muffin, topped with Canadian bacon, a perfectly poached egg, and drenched in hollandaise sauce, a rich, buttery mixture of egg yolk, lemon juice, and melted butter. While today it's often associated with fancy brunches, eggs Benedict was once a popular breakfast at diners and restaurants across the U.S. Its origin is shrouded in competing stories. Some say it was named after Lemuel Benedict, a Wall Street broker who requested the dish at New York's Waldorf Hotel in 1894 to cure a hangover, while others credit the famous Delmonico's restaurant. Despite its elegant appeal, the complexity of making hollandaise and poaching eggs led to a decline in its popularity as quicker, easier breakfast options became the norm. For many, Eggs Benedict remains a dish best enjoyed at restaurants, where this classic can be savored without the hassle of preparation. Homemade biscuits, reminding us of the effort and tradition that once went into preparing breakfast. Have you ever stopped to think about how a simple biscuit can carry so much history? Homemade biscuits have long been a staple of American breakfasts, though their preparation used to be a labor-intensive process, especially before the invention of modern leavening agents. The history of biscuits is intertwined with the complex and demanding methods once used to make them light and fluffy. In the early 19th century, before the advent of baking powder and baking soda, the batter needed to be beaten for an hour to achieve the desired texture. This task was often carried out by enslaved workers, making biscuits an integral part of the Southern culinary tradition during that time. However, after the abolition of slavery, biscuits became less common in American kitchens. Despite their challenging preparation, biscuits have maintained their place as a beloved dish, often served with gravy, butter, or jam, and continue to be a symbol of comfort food and tradition in many households. Think back to those moments when the warm aroma of freshly baked biscuits filled the kitchen, making breakfast feel extra special. Rich fruit Cochins. Do you remember the last time a breakfast made you feel like you'd been transported back in time, wrapped in warmth and nostalgia? Rich fruit Cochins have that magic. Originating in Germany, this isn't just any ordinary dessert. It's a delightful blend of pie and cake with layers that make every bite memorable. Picture a thin, soft cake as the base, topped with a creamy custard that cradles a generous layer of fruit. Whether it's tart apples or juicy berries, each choice adds its unique flavor and texture. And just when you think it couldn't get better, a cinnamon-flavored streusel crowns the Cochin, adding a crunchy, slightly spiced layer that fills the air with an irresistible aroma. It's more than breakfast. It's an experience that makes you wonder why we ever stopped savoring this comforting treat. Remember the days when such simple joys felt like little celebrations? This is one of those moments. Danish Go rounds. Speaking of breakfast nostalgia, do you recall another morning treat that brought a touch of indulgence to even the busiest days? Danish go-rounds were more than just a toaster pastry. They were a 1970s morning ritual that added a hint of luxury to the start of the day. Created by Kellogg's as a quick, on-the-go option, They set themselves apart from Pop-Tarts with their unique spiral design, mirroring traditional Danish pastries. Biting into one felt special. The flaky, buttery crust and rich fillings, cinnamon apple, strawberry, brought indulgence to each bite. Danish Go rounds were made for hectic mornings when families still craved a warm breakfast. Pop one into the toaster, and in moments, the sweet aroma filled the kitchen, creating a cozy atmosphere. Though they eventually couldn't compete with Pop-Tarts and were discontinued, for those who remember, Danish Go rounds hold a cherished place in breakfast nostalgia, bringing back memories of simpler times when even a rushed breakfast could feel a little luxurious. Broccoli ham puff pancake. Now, if you ever longed for a breakfast that brought everyone together, do you remember those Sunday mornings when the smell of something delicious drew everyone to the kitchen? The broccoli ham puff pancake is one of those nostalgic dishes that feels like a warm hug from home. Imagine a golden brown pancake fresh from an heirloom cast iron skillet, its edges beautifully puffed and crisp, with a rich, savory filling nestled at the center. Each bite is a satisfying blend of creamy ham, tender broccoli, and a hint of perfect seasoning, a meal that begs you to sit down and savor. The cast iron skillet doesn't just make it look rustic and inviting, it adds a touch of tradition, capturing the essence of a true home-cooked brunch. There's something about this dish that feels timeless, as though it was meant to bring loved ones together. If you're looking for a brunch that's as comforting as it is delicious, the broccoli ham puff pancake is a reminder of those meals we take the time to create, making every bite feel like a special moment.
Breakfast JelloO. Speaking of breakfast traditions that defined an era, do you ever wonder what breakfast looked like back in the quirky, colorful days of the 1970s? Breakfast JelloO is one of those forgotten gems that brings us right back to a time brimming with convenience and creativity. It was an era when light, diet-friendly options were all the rage, and breakfast JelloO offered a playful, refreshing twist to start the day. Imagine a bright, jiggling JelloO mold dotted with juicy strawberries, ripe bananas, or maybe even a dash of granola on top, a make-ahead treat that transformed breakfast into a vibrant display. Mixed with fruits, yogurt, or cottage cheese, this breakfast was packed with a natural sweetness and a hint of vitamins. But as cozy, protein-packed breakfast took over, breakfast JelloO quietly slipped off the morning menu. Today, it's a charming relic, reminding us of a time when breakfast could be just as adventurous as it was eye-catching. A little nod to the creativity that defined a generation. Fruit brunch. If you were looking for a breakfast that felt a little more wholesome, do you ever find yourself reminiscing about a time when breakfast felt like a healthier start to the day? Fruit brunch cereal was one of those innovative ideas from the 1970s, offering a refreshing alternative to the sugary options that ruled the breakfast shelves. Imagine crunchy whole grain flakes paired with dried fruits like apples, raisins, and berries, all naturally sweet without the added sugar. For those health-conscious mornings, fruit brunch was a perfect choice, packed with fiber and chewy fruit that brought a satisfying texture and bursts of flavor in every bite. Though it couldn't compete with sweeter cereals in the long run, it marked an early shift towards mindful eating and natural ingredients. For those who remember it, fruit brunch remains a nostalgic nod to an era when breakfast was all about wholesomeness and balance, a glimpse into the future of healthier cereals. Sausage patties. For those mornings when you needed something a little more hearty without sacrificing flavor, do you remember a time when breakfast became a little easier? Jimmy Dean sausage patties were a game changer when they hit the frozen breakfast scene in the 1970s, forever altering the way we thought about convenience food. Created by country singer Jimmy Dean, the idea was simple: provide a quick, hearty breakfast without compromising on taste. These fully cooked sausage patties made from seasoned pork offered a savory, slightly peppery flavor that won over families everywhere. No more messy prep or long cooking times, just a hot, protein-packed meal in minutes. For busy mornings, they were a lifesaver, giving families a taste of Southern-style comfort without the hassle. Decades later, Jimmy Dean sausage patties are still a beloved choice, reminding us how one brand made it possible to enjoy a full, satisfying breakfast, even on the most hectic days. Weena. If you ever longed for a breakfast focused on simple, wholesome nourishment, do you remember the days when meals were built on nutrition and straightforward ingredients? Weena cereal takes us back to that time, becoming a staple in American homes all the way through the 1970s for its high-fiber, wholesome qualities. First introduced in the late 19th century, Weena was made from toasted ground wheat with a nutty flavor and a grittier texture that offered a hearty alternative to smoother cereals like oatmeal. During the health-conscious wave of the 1970s, Weena fit perfectly into the trend, delivering essential vitamins and fiber in every bowl. Topped with a dollop of butter, a drizzle of honey, or a sprinkle of brown sugar, Weena was a nourishing start to the day. Though it's no longer as popular, Weena remains a nostalgic reminder that sometimes it's the simplest foods that offer the most comfort. Snap, snack, and cakes. As we talk about a simple pleasure, do you remember the days when making a quick dessert felt like a breeze? Snap, Snack, and Cakes by Betty Crocker was a 1970s gem, offering busy households an easy way to whip up a delicious treat without the hassle. These boxed cake mixes were a game changer. No eggs or oil needed. Just add water, pour the batter into the pan, and bake. With flavors like banana walnut and chocolate chip, they were perfect for everything from after-school snacks to unexpected guests. What made Snap, Snack, and Cakes stand out was their simplicity. They required no complicated measuring or ingredients, making them the go-to choice for families craving comfort without the effort. With their dense homemade texture, these cakes brought a little bit of nostalgia to every bite. Though they eventually faded from store shelves, they remain a fond reminder of a time when desserts could be quick, easy, and still delicious. Granola Bars. So we remember these effortless treats. Do you ever think back to when granola bars were a true test of your jaw strength? The original granola bars from the 1970s were nothing like the soft, chewy versions we snack on today. These early bars were hard, crunchy, and packed with oats, nuts, and honey, creating a distinctly tough bite. Brands like Nature Valley tapped into the health food movement, offering a snack that was as nutritious as it was portable, ideal for those seeking whole grains and fiber on the go. Though their crunch was a defining feature, it also made them tough to chew, which posed a challenge for some. However, for hikers and outdoor lovers, their durability and long shelf life make them the perfect snack for any adventure. As tastes shifted toward softer, easier-to-eat bars, these original granola snacks faded, but they remain a nostalgic symbol of the health-conscious era that pioneered a new way to snack healthy. B.M. Brown Bread. Speaking of hearty, traditional flavors, do you ever find yourself craving a taste of old-fashioned comfort food? B&M Brown Bread is a classic New England staple that takes us back to a time when tradition and simplicity ruled the table. Made from whole wheat flour, molasses, and rye flour, this dense, dark bread has a slightly sweet, earthy flavor that's hard to forget. Its origins trace back to early New England, where it was often paired with baked beans or served warm with a pat of butter. By the 1970s, B&M Brown Bread made its way into pantries across America, offering a hearty, shelf-stable option for busy households. The canning process kept it fresh and convenient, making it a practical choice for those without easy access to homemade bread. Whether steamed or toasted, the bread's rich molasses flavor always brought a comforting warmth to the meal. Though it's not as common today, B&M Brown Bread still holds a special place in the hearts of those who remember it as a simple, nourishing part of everyday life. Sizzling Bacon. Just as we saw a love for hearty tradition in foods like B&M Brown Bread, the late 1970s also brought a desire for cleaner, healthier twists on beloved classics. Do you remember a time when bacon was reimagined to be a little leaner? Sizzle Bacon was introduced as a healthier alternative to traditional bacon, catering to the growing health-conscious movement. Made from a blend of pork and beef, Sizzlin' promised all the crispy texture and savory flavor of classic bacon, but with significantly less fat. Its catchy slogan, "Move over bacon, there's something leaner," perfectly captured the appeal of this cleaner, more nutritious take on a beloved breakfast staple. Unlike regular bacon, which left pools of grease in the pan, Sizzlin' was the tidier choice, making it seem like the ideal bacon for a health-conscious era. While it became a popular option for those looking to balance flavor with lower fat content, it never quite replaced the classic bacon experience for everyone. As tastes shifted and lean, processed alternatives fell out of favor. Sizzlin' quietly disappeared from shelves. Today, it's remembered as a nostalgic symbol of an era when health trends shaped even our most cherished comfort foods. Frosted Rice Crinkles. On the sweeter side of nostalgia, do you ever crave the sweetness of a cereal that defined carefree mornings? Frosted Rice Crinkles was the sugary delight that took breakfast by storm in the 1960s and 70s, bringing a fun twist to the start of the day for kids across America. Made of puffed rice coated with a crunchy frosted glaze, it was like Rice Krispies with an extra layer of sweetness. With its light texture and satisfying crunch, Frosted Rice Crinkles quickly captured the hearts of young cereal lovers, becoming a morning ritual for many. Though its marketing included an animated character named Sohai, reflecting some of the outdated practices of that time, the cereal was a memorable part of childhood breakfasts. Despite its early success, it couldn't compete with other sugary cereals like Frosted Flakes, and eventually disappeared by the late 70s. As tastes shifted toward healthier options, Frosted Rice Crinkles faded away. But for those who remember it, it remains a fond reminder of simple, sweet mornings. Carnation Instant Breakfast. Shifting from the crunch of cereal to the convenience of a breakfast you could sip, do you ever think back to a time when breakfast in a glass felt like the ultimate convenience? Carnation Instant Breakfast was a revolutionary product when it debuted in the fast-paced 1960s, offering a whole new way to start the day. Long before protein shakes and smoothies became the trend, Carnation provided a drinkable meal replacement that promised to deliver the nutritional value of a full breakfast, without the need to sit down at the table. Simply mix the powdered formula with milk, and in moments, you have a drink packed with vitamins, minerals, and protein. It was a game changer for busy parents, professionals, and kids alike. Parents loved the convenience, while kids were drawn to the milkshake-like flavors of chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. With ads claiming a complete balanced breakfast in a glass, it quickly became a favorite for those in a rush. Though health trends have shifted and concerns over sugar content and processed foods grew, Carnation Instant Breakfast still holds a special place in our hearts. For many, it's a nostalgic reminder of a time when the future of breakfast was as simple as a drink. Corned beef hash. Another dish that holds a similar place in breakfast nostalgia. Do you ever crave a breakfast that's both hearty and full of nostalgia? Corned beef hash was once a beloved staple in many American homes, especially during the early to mid-20th century. Made from diced corned beef, potatoes, and onions, this dish was typically fried until golden and crispy, then served alongside eggs. Originally, it was a thrifty way to repurpose leftovers from a corned beef dinner, making it an affordable option for families looking to make the most of their meals. During and after World War II, the convenience of canned corned beef made hash even easier to prepare, cementing its popularity in kitchens and diners across the country. Its salty, savory flavor and satisfying crunch made for a hearty start to the day. As breakfast preferences shifted toward lighter options, corned beef hash gradually faded from American tables. Still, it remains a nostalgic favorite for those who remember its comforting warmth and simplicity. Jiffy Corn Pancake Mix. Start your day with another breakfast dish that brings its own unique twist to mornings. Do you ever think back to a time when pancakes had a unique twist that made breakfast feel extra special? Jiffy Corn Pancake Mix was once a beloved breakfast staple in American homes, offering a quick and easy way to enjoy homemade pancakes with a distinct cornmeal twist. Introduced by the same company known for its popular corn muffin mix, Jiffy made it simple for families to whip up light, fluffy pancakes with a slightly gritty texture that set them apart from traditional flour-based pancakes. These corn pancakes were perfect with classic toppings like butter and maple syrup, or even savory additions like bacon and eggs. Jiffy's versatility also inspired home cooks to get creative, using it for cornbread variations or savory sides. As frozen breakfasts and newer pancake mixes gained popularity, Jiffy's cornmeal-based pancakes gradually faded from the breakfast scene. Yet for those who remember it, Jiffy Corn Pancake Mix remains a nostalgic symbol of simpler mornings and comforting homemade meals. Eggs in a nest. Sometimes there's a certain magic in the simplicity of a dish that makes it feel like it was made just for you. Do you remember the last time a breakfast felt like it was made just for you? Simple yet special? Eggs in a nest, sometimes called eggs in a hole or toad in the hole, is one of those classic dishes that instantly feels like home. It's easy, fun, and packed with childhood memories. The recipe is simple. Take a piece of bread, cut out a hole in the center, and crack an egg right into that space. Fry it up in butter or oil until the bread is golden and crispy and the egg is perfectly set. You can even toast the little bread cutout for a bonus dipper. Back in the day, this dish was a hit because it was quick, easy, and used just basic ingredients: bread, eggs, and butter. It was a breakfast that kids could get creative with, maybe adding cheese, bacon, or a sprinkle of herbs. It's a humble meal that feels a little extra special. While you may not see eggs in a nest as often on diner menus or in today's morning routines, it still holds a nostalgic place for anyone who remembers those warm, homemade breakfasts. King Vitamins cereal combine fun with nutrition, making mornings feel like a playful adventure. Do you remember when breakfast cereals were as fun as they were nutritious? King Vitamin cereal was a beloved choice for kids in the 1970s and 1980s, known for its playful design and healthier take on breakfast. Produced by Quaker Oats, was made with a blend of corn and oats and fortified with essential vitamins and minerals, making it a healthier choice compared to many of the sugary cereals popular at the time. The cereal featured crown-shaped pieces, adding a whimsical touch to the morning routine. Marketed as a healthier alternative, King Vitamin was endorsed by its mascot, King Vitamin, who encouraged kids to eat a nutritious breakfast to rule the day. With its lightly sweetened flavor, it struck a balance between taste and health, often served with milk and topped with fresh fruit like bananas or strawberries. Despite its popularity in its heyday, King Vitamin eventually faded from shelves as newer, flashier brands emerged. Today, it remains a nostalgic reminder of an era when cereals were viewed as a wholesome part of the morning ritual. Grilled grapefruit with Marino cherries. But sometimes, breakfast wasn't just about fun or convenience. It was about making even the simplest morning feel special. Do you remember when breakfast could feel like a special occasion, even on a regular morning? Grilled grapefruit with maraschino cherries was a breakfast favorite in mid-20th century America, particularly during the 1950s and 1960s. This dish paired the tangy bite of fresh grapefruit with the sweetness of maraschino cherries, creating a perfect harmony of flavors. To prepare it, grapefruit halves were lightly sprinkled with sugar and then broiled or grilled, allowing the sugar to caramelize into a sweet golden glaze. A bright red maraschino cherry in the center added both color and a burst of extra sweetness. Seen as an elegant and healthy choice, grilled grapefruit was often served at brunches or special gatherings, alongside toast or eggs. Its sophisticated presentation made it a popular choice for those looking to start the day with something refined. However, as breakfast trends shifted towards convenience and heartier options, grilled grapefruit became less common, its time-consuming preparation replaced by quicker, simpler morning meals. Scrapple. Yet sometimes breakfast wasn't about elegance, it was about warmth, comfort, and a dish that instantly reminded you of home. Do you remember the last time a dish brought back memories of hearty, comforting breakfasts that felt like a taste of home? Scrapple, a beloved breakfast dish with deep roots in Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine, tells the story of resourcefulness and tradition. Made from pork scraps, cornmeal, flour, and spices, this savory loaf was boiled, shaped, cooled, and then sliced and fried until golden and crispy. While its origins are in Pennsylvania, Scrapple became especially popular in the Midwest, where it earned its place as a hearty, comforting breakfast in both homes and diners. Originally created to use every part of the hog, Scrapple was an economical way to stretch a meal. Its rich, savory flavor made it the perfect companion to eggs, toast, or even a drizzle of maple syrup to add a sweet contrast to its salty goodness. Despite its humble beginnings, Scrapple became a cherished dish for many, its hearty texture offering a satisfying start to the day. Remember those mornings when the savory aroma of this dish filled the air, making it impossible to resist? This is one of those moments. Buckwheat Pancakes. Breakfast dishes connect us to centuries of cultural heritage, offering a taste of history with every bite. Do you remember the last breakfast dish that made you feel connected to centuries of tradition and nourishment? Buckwheat pancakes, with their rich cultural history, have long been a beloved breakfast dish. Originally hailing from Asia, buckwheat made its way to Europe, where it became a key ingredient in many regional cuisines. In France, the Brittany region is known for its savory buckwheat galettes, a type of crepe with somewhat mysterious origins. Meanwhile, in Germany's Lower Saxony, buckwheat pancakes are a daily staple, cherished for their hearty and affordable qualities. Buckwheat, a hardy grain that thrives in tougher climates, became a crucial food source for the working class. These pancakes, once a poor man's food, provided nourishment and sustenance. Today, they remain a wholesome, gluten-free option that has seen a resurgence in health-conscious circles. Remember the mornings when a stack of warm, hearty pancakes filled your plate, offering comfort and a sense of history? This is one of those timeless moments. Cornpone Bread dishes that carry the warmth and simplicity of tradition, offering a sense of comfort with every bite. Do you remember the last time a dish felt like a connection to the past, bringing warmth and comfort to your breakfast table? Cornpone, a dish deeply rooted in Native American cuisine, is an ancient comfort food that evolved from simple, unleavened cornmeal cakes cooked over open ashes. The term pone is likely a variation of indigenous words like a pony or ponap, referring to this essential staple. Traditional cornpone is made from a few straightforward ingredients: cornmeal, water, salt, and fat, resulting in a dish that resembles golden, savory pancakes. American colonists adapted this native recipe, evolving it into various cornbread-like creations. Though it can be enjoyed at any time of day, cornpone was particularly popular as a breakfast food during colonial times and continues to be a southern regional favorite. Unlike cornbread, which can be either sweet or savory, cornpone tends to have a more savory profile. It is often fried or baked in a cast iron skillet, yielding a crispy outer layer with a soft, tender interior. Remember those mornings when a hot, crispy serving of cornpone added a special touch to your breakfast? This is one of those timeless dishes. Strata. Do you remember when breakfast casserole felt like the perfect start to a cozy morning? Strata, a beloved American breakfast casserole, is a hearty cross between quiche and bread pudding. The earliest recorded recipe for a cheese strata, which layers bread, cheese, and a creamy white sauce, dates back to 1902 in Juanita L. Shepard's Handbook of Household Sciences from Minnesota. This suggests that strata had been a part of American cooking for decades, particularly in the Midwest. However, it wasn't until the 1980s that the dish gained widespread popularity, largely thanks to its inclusion in the Silver Palette Cookbook by Sheila Lukens and Julie Rosso. This cookbook, which contributed to the evolution of American culinary tastes, helped elevate the strata to a go-to dish for both casual meals and special occasions. Gourmet magazine also featured strata as a festive Christmas breakfast recipe, though its versatility makes it perfect for year-round enjoyment. Whether savory or sweet, strata remains a comforting and satisfying breakfast option that can easily be adapted to individual tastes. Remember those mornings when a warm, cheesy casserole sat at the center of the table, perfect for sharing? This is one of those timeless meals. Thanks for joining us on this delicious trip down memory lane through 25 forgotten breakfasts. If you enjoyed revisiting these classic dishes, please like and subscribe for more nostalgic flavors from the past.